The galaxy was in a rare state of calm. The creation of the Galactic Heritage Site had sparked a sense of unity among the diverse civilizations of the known universe. However, peace is often a precursor to unseen storms. Aboard the Hyperion, Sylas, Aila, and Miral were reviewing data from their recent missions. The ship was currently orbiting the serene planet of Kalara, known for its vast libraries that held the accumulated knowledge of 1,000 worlds. Sylas, look at this. Aila pointed to a fluctuating energy signature on her screen, her brow furrowed in concentration. It's similar to the anomalies we've encountered with the artifacts, but it's different, somehow more structured. Sylas leaned over her shoulder, his eyes scanning the data. Could it be a new type of artifact? Or perhaps a different technology interacting with the ones we know? Miral, ever the peacemaker and voice of reason, chimed in. Shouldn't we report this to the council? They might want to send a specialist. No, Sylas replied, his voice carrying a hint of excitement. We need to check this out ourselves first. We can handle it. With a new mission forming, the crew set coordinates for the source of the anomaly, a small, uncharted planet on the edge of the Rigel system. As they approached, they noticed that the planet was enveloped in a thick, silvery mist, almost ethereal in appearance. Landing on the planet proved challenging. The sensors were nearly useless through the mist. The Hyperion touched down on a flat expanse of rock, the landscape eerily quiet. The scans can't penetrate the mist. We'll have to do this the old-fashioned way, Aila announced as she geared up for the expedition. Each member donned their exploration suits, designed to protect against a wide array of environmental hazards. Stepping out onto the planet, the mist swirled around them, chilling and damp. They moved forward cautiously, using handheld scanners to try and make sense of their surroundings. It wasn't long before they came upon structures, barely visible through the fog. Ancient, towering buildings, their architecture a blend of sharp angles and smooth curves, suggestive of a highly advanced civilization. This doesn't match any known architectural database, Miral noted, her voice echoing slightly in the mist. Whoever they were, they've been lost to time. As they explored deeper into the city, they stumbled upon a central plaza, where a statue stood, cloaked in the silver mist. It was a figure of a humanoid, one hand raised as if in warning. Suddenly, the ground beneath them shivered. The mist began to glow, pulsing with light and energy. The energy surge knocked them off their feet. Sylas was the first to recover, helping Aila and Miral to stand. As the glow subsided, a hologram flickered to life in front of the statue. It depicted a being, its features blurred and indistinct. Visitors, the hologram spoke, its voice resonant but hollow. You tread upon the ashes of the Echovar, a civilization undone by time's cruel hand. What brings you to the echo of our world? Sylas stepped forward. We detected an unusual energy signature and came to investigate. We meant no intrusion. The hologram seemed to consider his words, then continued. The artifact you detect is the Heart of Echoes, a device we created to record the entirety of our civilization's knowledge. But it is also why we fell, as it became a beacon for those who would use our knowledge for conquest. Aila, with her insatiable curiosity, asked, what happened exactly? How did it cause your downfall? Abuse of the artifact's power led to a temporal fracture. Time itself became malleable, unreliable. Our reality unraveled, the hologram explained, its form flickering with the pulsing mist. We need to study this artifact, understand how to prevent such a catastrophe in our own time, Miral asserted, always looking to prevent future threats. The hologram nodded. Very well. But be warned, the Heart of Echoes is protected, not just by barriers, but by the guardians we programmed to defend it. To reach it, you must prove your worth and your intentions. The guardians turned out to be complex AI systems embedded within the city's infrastructure. They challenged the crew with puzzles and traps that tested their intelligence, ethics, and determination. Each trial was designed to assess their suitability to wield the knowledge of the Echovar. They faced ethical dilemmas where they had to choose between sacrificing for the greater good or achieving personal gain, intellectual challenges that required them to solve complex problems under pressure, and physical tests that demanded agility and resilience. As they progressed, the bond between Sylas, Aila, and Miral deepened. They learned to anticipate each other's moves, think 2 steps ahead, and trust in each other's decisions. It wasn't just about proving themselves to the Guardians, it was about reaffirming their commitment to each other and their mission. Finally, they reached the chamber of the Heart of Echoes. The artifact was a crystalline sphere, floating in the center of the room, its surface swirling with colors that seemed to depict scenes from the Echovar civilization, moments of triumph, of everyday life, of their downfall. "Be careful," Aila warned as they approached. "The energy readings are off the charts. Whatever we do, we need to make sure we don't repeat the Echovar's mistakes." Miral nodded, her hand hovering over the device that would integrate their own tech with the artifact. "I'll set up a containment field. That should help stabilize any fluctuations during the interface." Sylas, meanwhile, kept watch. Despite the assurances of their trial's success, he couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to the Echovar's warning. As they activated the interface, the sphere pulsed brighter. Scenes of the Echovar's history played out before them, not just as images, but as experiences. They felt the Echovar's ambitions, their fears, and ultimately, their desperation as time slipped beyond their control. The crew was overwhelmed but focused. They carefully siphoned some of the knowledge, taking great care not to disturb the delicate balance that the Echovar had broken. With each piece of data secured, they gained insights not only into a lost civilization but also into the dangers of wielding time. After their departure from the planet of the Echovar, the Hyperion made its way towards a scheduled rendezvous with the Temporal Integrity Command to report their findings. However, the knowledge extracted from the Heart of Echoes had far-reaching implications, hinting at unknown artifacts scattered across different timelines, each potentially as volatile as the one they had just encountered. As they journeyed back, Aila spent countless hours in the lab, poring over the data. "There's a pattern here," she said during one of their briefings. "The Echovar weren't the only ones. This suggests that several civilizations might have collapsed under similar circumstances. We need to track these artifacts down." Miral, who had been updating the Hyperion's historical databases with their new findings, chimed in. "There are references to time-related phenomena in several other systems. Perhaps these are not just myths but warnings." Sylas nodded, his determination clear. "We'll set a course to these systems. It's not just about exploration anymore, we're in a race to prevent history from repeating itself." Their first stop was the nebula of Forgotten Times, a vast cloud of cosmic dust and gases that, according to legend, concealed the ruins of a once mighty empire known as the Chronarchs. As they approached, the nebula's interference with their instruments forced them to navigate manually, relying heavily on Miral's instinctive understanding of spatial anomalies. Within the heart of the nebula, they discovered a planet encased in a temporal loop, reliving the same day over and over. The planet's surface was dotted with ruins that reset with each loop, erasing all signs of decay. "It's like watching history breathe," Miral whispered, fascinated by the sight. They landed and set up temporal anchors to keep themselves from being caught in the loop. Exploring the ruins, they came across a grand palace at the center of the capital city, where they found the Chronarchs' artifact, a massive obelisk pulsing with time energy. "The loop must be its way of protecting itself," Aila theorized. "Or perhaps it's a malfunction. We need to stabilize it before it expands beyond this planet." The team worked together, using the containment protocols they had developed from their previous mission. After tense hours of adjustments and recalibrations, the loop began to slow, finally allowing the day to end and night to fall on the planet for the first time in centuries. With the temporal loop broken, the full history of the Chronarchs began to unfold. The palace archives, preserved perfectly in the loop, told stories of a society obsessed with time manipulation, using it to extend lifespans, settle disputes, and even entertain. But they played too freely with time, Sylas reflected. And it looks like they paid the price. The team documented everything, sending reports back to the Temporal Integrity Command. The command was particularly interested in the artifact's technology, hoping to develop defenses against similar temporal disturbances. As they prepared to leave, a distress signal from a nearby system caught their attention. A planet was experiencing uncontrolled aging, its flora and fauna withering at an accelerated rate. "We can't just leave them," Miral stated firmly. Aila agreed. "Our mission has just expanded. Let's go." Arriving at the distressed planet, they discovered that the aging phenomenon was caused by another artifact. This one buried beneath the planet's surface, leaking time like a sieve. Using a combination of the Echovar's knowledge and their own technical expertise, the crew managed to excavate and contain the artifact, reversing the rapid aging of the planet's ecosystem. This was too close, Silas said as they watched rejuvenated fields bloom rapidly. We need a better way to detect these artifacts before they cause damage. The solution came from combining their data with the Echovar's Aila developed a sensor array capable of detecting the unique energy signatures of time artifacts. Armed with new technology and deeper resolve, the Hyperion continued its journey, tracking down and securing time-distorting artifacts. Each mission taught them more about the powers and perils of playing with time. Their adventures didn't just keep the universe's timeline intact, but also spread a message across the galaxies of respect for the past and responsibility for the future. As they charted their course toward new adventures, Silas mused, "What we've begun here, it's bigger than any of us. We're not just explorers or soldiers, we're guardians." Aila smiled. "And we always will be, for as long as time flows." Miral looked out into the starlit expanse, her voice filled with wonder. "And just think of all the stories out there, waiting for us to find them." Together, aboard the Hyperion, they set forth to those stars, a beacon of hope and vigilance, safeguarding the universe from the shadows of time, ever vigilant, ever brave, and forever curious. The Hyperion's next mission took them to the edge of the known galaxy, a region sparsely charted and rife with gravitational anomalies. It was here that Aila's newly developed sensor array picked up faint but distinct traces of an artifact, unlike any they had encountered before. "This signature is bizarre," Aila noted as she adjusted the sensors. "It's not just distorting time, it's almost as if it's weaving it." The source was located on a desolate moon orbiting a giant gas planet. The landscape was barren, covered in jagged rocks and thin ice sheets. As the team disembarked from the Hyperion, the ground beneath them felt unnaturally cold, even for such an environment. "This place feels wrong," Miral commented, looking around at the shifting shadows. As they approached the signal's source, they encountered a crater. At its center, partially buried in the ice, was an artifact emitting a soft, pulsing light. It was encased in a shell of solid ice, suggesting it had been there for millennia. Silas approached cautiously, his hand hovering over the device they had used to stabilize previous artifacts. "Be ready for anything," he warned. No sooner had he spoken than the ground trembled. Cracks spread across the ice, and ethereal figures emerged, shadows of beings that once might have lived on this moon, or perhaps were merely echoes created by the artifact. These figures did not communicate but moved around the team, seemingly unaware of their presence. Aila theorized they were residual temporal imprints, not sentient but replayed by the artifact's influence on time. Like a recording stuck on loop, she explained, adjusting her device to interact with the artifact. Carefully, they began the process of extraction. The artifact, once freed from its icy prison, revealed itself to be a complex network of crystalline structures, interconnected and glowing with an inner light. "The design is intricate," Miral observed, her eyes scanning the artifact. "It might be a kind of temporal fabric, holding together the threads of time for this place." As Silas secured the artifact, the echoes faded, the moon returning to its quiet, desolate state. With the artifact on board, the Hyperion set course back to the command for analysis. Back at the Temporal Integrity Command, the artifact was placed under study. Researchers from various fields came to examine it, fascinated by its potential to not only distort but seemingly weave time. "The implications for this are enormous," one scientist remarked. "We could potentially mend temporal rifts, or even prevent them from occurring." As the team discussed the possibilities, a call came through from a distant colony. They were experiencing inexplicable aging of their technology and infrastructure. The symptoms suggested a temporal anomaly, possibly another artifact at work. Without hesitation, the crew of the Hyperion volunteered to investigate, equipped with the new knowledge and tools derived from their recent find. Arriving at the colony, they found that the situation was worse than reported. Buildings that were only decades old looked centuries worn. Machinery had aged and deteriorated, causing widespread disruption. Miral, using the sensor array, traced the anomaly to a nearby asteroid field. There, hidden among the rocks, was an artifact emitting a powerful time dilation field. "This one's different," Silas noted as they approached. "It seems to be affecting only non-organic materials." Using a containment unit modified from their previous missions, they managed to secure the artifact, halting its effects. The colony, relieved, thanked them profusely, their immediate crisis averted. With each mission, the crew's reputation grew. They were no longer just explorers or soldiers, they were protectors of the galaxy's temporal integrity. The artifacts, each with its own history and power, were cataloged and contained, studied under strict controls to prevent misuse. As the Hyperion traveled through space, its crew confident and cohesive, they knew each mission brought new risks. But with those risks came the opportunity to prevent catastrophes, to safeguard civilizations, and to explore the mysteries of time itself. One evening, as they gathered in the observation deck, looking out at the vast expanse of stars, Aila spoke up. "Do you ever wonder how many more there are out there? How many worlds we've saved without even knowing it?" Sylas smiled, his gaze fixed on the stars, "All the time. But as long as there are anomalies, as long as the universe needs us, we'll be there." Miral nodded, her voice filled with resolve. "And maybe, just maybe, we'll find all the pieces of this vast, cosmic puzzle." Together they watched the stars, the Hyperion cutting a swift path through the cosmos, its crew ever ready, ever vigilant. For them the journey was eternal, the guardianship a mantle they wore with pride, and the universe a place of endless wonders, waiting to be safeguarded and explored. Months passed as the Hyperion's journey continued. Their next mission brought them to the edge of the Viridian cluster, a region known for its unstable quantum fields. The instability was rumored to be caused by another artifact, hidden deep within the cluster's nebulous core. As they navigated the unpredictable quantum waves, the Hyperion's shields flickered with the strain. "These fluctuations are intense," Aila commented, monitoring the shield status. "We're close to something, deep within the nebula." They discovered an ancient space station, adrift and seemingly abandoned. It orbited a dying star, its hull marked with the symbols of a long-forgotten civilization. The station pulsed with a faint energy signature, unmistakably that of an artifact. Boarding the station, the team felt a sense of eerie silence envelop them. The corridors were lined with dust and debris, a ghostly echo of the past. As they moved deeper into the station, they found the source of the energy, a large metallic orb suspended in the center of the main chamber, surrounded by a lattice of quantum energy. Miral cautiously approached the orb. "It's creating a stable bubble in the quantum chaos. It's like a mirage bending reality around it." The crew worked together to deactivate the orb, slowly unraveling the quantum field that enveloped it. As the field dissipated, the reality of the station shifted, revealing hidden chambers and long-lost technologies. Within these newly revealed chambers, they found records of the quantum architects, the builders of the station. These records detailed a society that had mastered the manipulation of quantum states to alter reality itself, using the orb to create perfect living conditions, despite the chaotic environment outside. The architects used this to shield themselves from the universe, but they isolated themselves too much, Sylas noted, scanning through the digital archives. They lost touch with reality. Aila, fascinated by the quantum technologies, suggested we should study this. It could lead to advancements in our own shielding technologies, maybe more. The team agreed to transport the orb back to the Temporal Integrity Command, ensuring its safe containment for study. As they left the station, the quantum fields began to stabilize, slowly returning to their natural state. Returning to familiar space, the crew received news of a shadowy figure seen near several of the secured artifact sites. This mysterious presence had sparked concerns at the Temporal Integrity Command, fearing an attempt to steal or misuse the artifacts. Could it be someone from our past missions? A disgruntled faction, Miral pondered as they reviewed the security reports. Or someone new, who understands what we've been doing, Sylas added. He decided it was crucial to investigate personally, given the potential threat to their work. Their investigation led them to a remote outpost on the fringes of the galaxy. Here they encountered the figure, a woman known only as Kayla, who claimed to be a guardian of temporal balance, much like themselves. Kayla explained her actions. "I've been tracking anomalies that you haven't noticed, ones that could be as threatening as the artifacts you found. We're on the same side, but your command isn't seeing the whole picture." Her words and evidence convinced the team that they needed to expand their perspective on the temporal threats facing the universe. Working together, they began to uncover deeper layers of time-related anomalies, ones that required a more holistic approach to address. With Kayla's insights and the continued efforts of the Hyperion crew, they formed a new alliance, the Guardians of Temporal Equilibrium, dedicated to protecting the universe, not just from physical threats but also from more subtle temporal distortions that could unravel reality itself. Their first joint mission took them to a system where time slipped backward and forward unpredictably. Using a combination of their technologies and Aila's understanding of temporal flows, they managed to stabilize the system, saving its inhabitants from a catastrophic time collapse. "This is just the beginning," Aila said, her eyes bright with the possibilities. "Together we can do so much more." As they continued their mission, Sylas, Aila, Miral, and now Aila worked tirelessly to monitor and protect the temporal integrity of the universe. Their adventures took them across galaxies, through wormholes, and into the depths of time itself. Each mission strengthened their resolve and their bonds, making them not just a team but a family. They faced challenges and dangers, but also discovered wonders and joys in the vast cosmos. One evening, as they gathered to watch the birth of a star, a rare and beautiful event, Miral reflected on their journey. "We started as explorers and became guardians. Now we're part of the galaxy's heartbeat, its rhythm of time and space." Sylas nodded, looking at each of his companions. "And as long as we're together, there's no anomaly too great, no time too twisted. We're the Hyperion's crew, the guardians of time, and our journey is never ending." As the new star flared to life, casting light across the darkness, the crew of the Hyperion stood together, ready for whatever time might bring next, secure in the knowledge that they were guardians not just of the past or future, but of all time. The Hyperion's next journey led them toward the Spiral of Serenity, a system famed for its harmonious blend of natural beauty and temporal tranquility. This area of space, known for its calm, was a stark contrast to the chaotic regions they often navigated. However, their mission was tinged with urgency. The tranquility of the spiral was being disrupted by a series of small but increasingly frequent temporal ripples. These disturbances were minor but could escalate if left unchecked, threatening to unravel the very fabric that made the spiral a haven in the universe. Upon arriving, the team deployed a series of advanced sensors to trace the source of the disturbances. The data led them to a small, unassuming planet at the edge of the system, where a forgotten artifact lay hidden beneath ancient ruins, pulsing with a quiet, rhythmic energy that was slowly falling out of sync with its surroundings. As they explored the ruins, the architecture suggested a civilization that once deeply understood the balance between time and nature. The artifact, a crystalline hourglass filled with a swirling, luminescent sand, was found at the core of a temple dedicated to temporal harmony. It seems this civilization tried to stabilize their planet's temporal field, with this Aila observed examining the artifact, but it's losing its synchronization. That might be causing the ripples. The challenge was clear: they needed to recalibrate the artifact to restore its harmony with the planet's natural temporal rhythms. Sylas and Miral worked together to adjust the artifact's settings, while Aila and Aila monitored the temporal waves sweeping through the system. After hours of careful adjustments and tests, the artifact began to pulse in a steady, synchronized rhythm. The disturbances in the spiral ceased, and a sense of peace returned to the system. With the immediate threat resolved, the team took some time to explore the ruins further. They discovered murals depicting the civilization's deep respect for time as a natural resource, not to be exploited but cherished and preserved. This place, it's a reminder of what we're fighting for, Miral mused, touching the cool stone of the temple wall. Not just to prevent disasters, but to preserve the harmony of the universe. Their exploration also unearthed a library of sorts, filled with scrolls and artifacts that detailed other potential temporal technologies and philosophies. They cataloged everything, planning to bring it back to the Temporal Integrity Command for further study. This could help us develop new methods to deal with temporal anomalies, Aila noted, her eyes scanning a particularly intricate scroll, and maybe teach us more about how to live in balance with time. As they prepared to leave the Spiral of Serenity, the crew felt a renewed sense of purpose. Their successful recalibration of the artifact wasn't just a technical victory, it was a philosophical one, reinforcing their commitment to respecting and protecting the temporal balance. Back on the Hyperion, the team convened to discuss the implications of their findings. They agreed to form a new initiative within the Temporal Integrity Command, the Guardians Pact, dedicated to not only responding to temporal threats but also proactively studying and spreading the principles of temporal harmony they had learned. "The Guardians Pact will be our legacy," Sylas declared, looking around at his team. "A testament to our journey and our commitment to the future." The creation of the Guardians Pact marked a new chapter in their mission. Over the following months, they traveled to various systems, spreading the word, recruiting like-minded individuals and groups, and establishing a network of monitors and protectors throughout the galaxy. Their work brought them into contact with diverse civilizations, some of whom had faced their own temporal challenges. By sharing knowledge and resources, they strengthened the fabric of the universe against the threats of temporal disturbances. One evening, as the Hyperion hovered above a planet bathed in the glow of a twin sunset, the team gathered to reflect on their journey. "We've come so far," Aila said, her voice soft with emotion, "from chasing anomalies to building a movement." Miral added, her eyes on the horizon, "We're not just fixing the past or safeguarding the present. We're ensuring a future where the harmony of time is understood and valued." Sylas looked at each of his team members, pride and gratitude in his eyes. "Together, we've become more than a crew. We're guardians, not just of time but of hope." As the sun set, casting long shadows across the Hyperion, the ship, a silent sentinel in the cosmos, continued its watch. The crew, united by their mission, looked forward to the challenges and wonders ahead, ready to face whatever the universe held in store. Thus, the Guardians of Time continued their endless vigil, protectors of the cosmic order, forever journeying through the starlit expanse, where every star was a story, every planet a promise, and every moment an opportunity to uphold the delicate balance of the universe. Months turned into years as the crew of the Hyperion and the Guardians Pact grew in number and influence, becoming a cornerstone of stability in the ever-expanding universe. Yet, with every solution they implemented, new challenges emerged, as if the cosmos itself tested their resolve. A new anomaly, unlike any they had encountered, surfaced on the fringes of explored space. Dubbed the Veil of Voids, it was a region where time seemed to fracture, creating pockets of non-existence, voids where neither light nor matter could persist. The crew set their course for this mysterious phenomenon, driven by a mix of curiosity and duty. As they approached, the familiar thrill of facing the unknown pulsed through the Hyperion. Navigating the Veil of Voids required all of Sylas's piloting prowess and the team's collective expertise. The ship's instruments flickered unpredictably, and the fabric of space around them shimmered with unseen currents. In the heart of the veil, they discovered an ancient device, massive and otherworldly, suspended in a void. It pulsed with a deep, resonant energy that seemed to tug at the very essence of reality. "It's like a heart, beating out of rhythm with the universe," Aila observed, her sensors struggling to make sense of the readings. The team theorized that the device was an ancient civilization's attempt to control time on a cosmic scale, but something had gone horribly wrong, leading to the current state of the veil. With careful maneuvering and coordination, they managed to stabilize the device using a combination of their advanced technology and the principles they had learned from their previous missions. As they worked, the voids began to shrink, and the fabric of time slowly knitted itself back together. "This might be our most significant find yet," Miral said, watching the voids dissipate. "A device capable of influencing time on such a scale, it's unprecedented. But it's also a reminder," Kayla added, her voice solemn, "of the responsibility we carry. The power to shape time is the power to shape reality itself." With the Veil of Void stabilized, the Hyperion returned to the Temporal Integrity Command, their mission a success. News of their achievement spread across the galaxy, inspiring awe and a renewed commitment to the principles of the Guardians Pact. The command decided to establish a permanent research station near the Veil to study the device and ensure its stability. Sylas, Aila, Miral, and Kayla were asked to lead this new initiative, a task they accepted with honor. As they prepared for this next phase of their journey, they reflected on the paths they had taken. "We started as explorers of space," Sylas mused, "and we became shepherds of time." And now, Aila added, "We are guardians of reality itself, keepers of the cosmic order." Years passed, and the Guardians Pact became a legend, a symbol of hope and duty. Under the leadership of the Hyperion crew, the research station flourished, becoming a beacon of knowledge and a testament to the unity that could be achieved when diverse beings worked together for a common good. The crew, now seasoned guardians, occasionally took the Hyperion out on patrols or to assist with new anomalies. But they always returned to the Veil, their home among the stars. One evening, as they gathered to watch the alignment of multiple galaxies, an event visible only once in a millennium, Miral spoke, her voice echoing the sentiment of all. "We've seen so much change, so much, And yet the universe remains a place of endless mysteries. What we've done here, it's just the beginning. Sylas nodded, his gaze on the swirling galaxies. As long as there are stars to chart and times to protect, our journey will never end. We are the Hyperion's crew, the timeless guardians, forever watching over the dance of the cosmos. And so, with their ship anchored by the veil, watching over the pulsating heart of time, the guardians stood vigilant, a constant in the ever-changing universe. Their legacy was not just in the anomalies they corrected or the knowledge they spread, but in the hope they inspired across the cosmos. As the galaxies aligned and light from 1,000 worlds bathed the veil, the Hyperion's crew stood together, their bonds unbreakable, their resolve unshaken. They were more than explorers, more than friends. They were the guardians of the galaxy's heartbeat, eternal watchers of the endless dance of time and space.